Hello guys, welcome back to LR Anime. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Flame Emperor episode number 383 based on novel. So let's start. It has been a month since the summoning of the monster army, and tomorrow is the best time to set off and enter the ancient battlefield. For a time, the entire myriad monster nation is filled with silence. At this time, a soft knock on the door rang out in Xiao Yan's mansion. Come in. Xiao Yan had just withdrawn from the cultivation state and wondered, but through his huge soul power, he could clearly detect that there were several figures outside the house. Respected Master Yaoshuai, we are ordered by the Demon King to bring you some things. The visitor was a slender woman who was as attractive as a stunner. The stone boxes stand behind it. What is this? Although Xiao Yan was surprised, he pretended to be calm on the surface. With such means as the Demon King, Xiao Yan naturally knew that something important might happen next, but to receive some remuneration, Xiao Yan would also be willing to do things for the Demon King. Only the guards can find the trace of the Haisha dragon wolf. However, Xiao Yan's journey to the demon world after finding the black evil dragon and wolf was only on the right track, otherwise it would still be a waste of time. This is the evil crystal demon block you needed before, Lord. With it, you can be protected from the attacks of some extraterritorial evil races or ignore them. This is a 6th grade immortal rank medicinal pill, a bad-breaking pill. After taking it, it can maintain the 8-star fighting immortal strength of a stick of incense. And a protective armor of immortal armor can greatly increase your defense strength. The enchanting woman said softly, and suddenly 3 stone boxes were slowly placed at the door of the house, and she laughed softly. 6th grade immortal rank elixir, defense level immortal armor. Xiao Yang was shocked when he heard this. The alchemist in the demon world, I am afraid that the entire demon world is only 3 digits, and the medicinal pill is the most precious thing in the demon world, the 6th rank immortal rank, not to mention the effect of this medicinal herb. Just this level, the elixir is enough to show that the WN Yaowang holds Xiao Yang very seriously. Demon King, let us tell you that we will set off tomorrow to enter the ancient battlefield. I hope Lord Yaoshuai Xiao Yang can lead by example. My subordinates retire. After the guards finished speaking, they also left here with everyone, but at the same time, Tianhu Yaoshuai was exactly the same as Xiao Yang, but what Tianhu Yaoshuai got was obviously not as good as Xiao Yang's. It's really a big hand. I want to see what medicine is sold in the 10,000 Demon King's gourd. Xiao Yang finished speaking, slowly put away the things, and carefully adjusted his breath. With the defense of this fairy armor, I am afraid that the powerhouses under the 8 stars will not be able to cause fatal damage to Xiao Yang. With this medicinal herb, I am afraid that this battle on the battlefield, Xiao Yang will really emerge many killers. The night slowly faded away, and soon the sun rose, and a new day began. As soon as dawn arrived, an unusually harsh howl suddenly sounded like an army order, rendering the entire city. Immediately, the entire 10,000 monster nation began to get busy, and the monsters in uniforms left their tents in an orderly manner, and then gathered towards the army. The same is WN Yarrow Square. It's just that this time, it's not the crowd of people watching, but every monster's face, with a hint of seriousness of the same enemy. Their eyes are full of energy, and in an instant they are a neat formation. At the front of each square, the captains of the monsters stand beside them. There are hundreds of squads like this, and the gathering here are 50,000 elite monsters. The 50,000 monsters have the lowest strength of Dozian, and the strongest ones are basically around the 6-star level, while the 7-star Dozian has a total of more than 20 people, standing in the strongest square of the square team. At the forefront of these magnificent teams, a figure above the heavens and the earth, accompanied by several powerful guys, stood side by side. Demon King. The 3 elders are handsome. The new 2 monster handsome. As for the other veteran demon generals and newcomer demon generals, they slowly mixed into the demon beast squad to maintain order. Everyone. Looking at the huge army with fierce eyes in front of him, the voice of the 10,000 Demon King was filled with an extremely tyrannical oppression, like the sound of thunder, resounding throughout the 10,000 Demons Square. The King of 10,000 Demons. As the King of 10,000 Demons spoke, the mighty voice behind him, like a thunderous sound, sounded slowly. I, the Demon King of 10,000 Demons, is a subordinate who swears allegiance to Lord Haisha Longlang. Now Lord Haisha Longlang is nowhere to be seen, and his personal guards are in danger in order to resist the other 9 powerhouses. It is us, the peaceful land behind us, the homeland behind us that we are lazy to survive, and the brothers and sisters in our respective families. At that time, I am afraid that our WN Yarrow Kingdom will also face the situation of being bloodbathed by other forces. Everyone said, "Where should we go now?" The voice of the 10,000 demon king reached the ears of every monster, deeply touching the last line of defense in their heart. War. War. Battle. After a short pause, in the 10,000 demons square, countless demonic energy of each color spread out from the bodies of 50,000 demonic beasts, and the demonic energy surged into the sky, like a real doomsday furnace. Okay. This king will accompany you to fight personally this time. The pattern of the demon world is up to us to rewrite. Even if you fight the last soldier, it is absolutely impossible to surrender. We are the most loyal subordinates and subjects of Lord Demon Emperor. Invincible in battle and invincible in attack. Every word and every sentence of the WN Yarawang touched the hearts of 50,000 monsters. Now that the military spirit is high, it is the best time to enter the ancient battlefield. The soldiers of the three armies obey the order. In an instant, the WN Yarawang suddenly transformed, and his voice became extremely cold, like a life and death judge. The king of 10,000 demons. The three soldiers roared at the same time. The momentum was huge, and the scene was heart-pounding. Xiao Yang Yaoshuai, Tianhu Yaoshuai, come out and obey orders. WAN Yarawang said coldly. My subordinates are here. Xiao Yang and Tianhu looked at each other, then walked away from the front of the formation, clasped their fists and faced the king of 10,000 demons. I will give you 2,000 elites, 10 7-star fighting immortals, enter the Tianyuan battlefield among the 10 major battlefields, go deep behind the enemy to attack the army of the evil-eyed demon king. Do not seek to dominate the enemy, but must delay their travel time. For the sake of let's save the guards to buy time? The demon king said coldly. Do you contain the enemy? But with these elites, my subordinates may try to solve them. Xiao Yang laughed slowly, the arrogance in his voice was hard to contain. Xiao Yang Yaoshuai, the army is very disciplined, no jokes can be tolerated. At this time, Snake Shuai, one of the three elders, gave a friendly reminder, but in his heart he was secretly amazed at the cleverness of the WN Yawang's trick. I know, so what I'm talking about now is something that must be accomplished. Xiao Yang responded in the same way, looking directly at the demon king of 10,000 demons, as if showing his own heritage. If it fails? WAN Yarawang asked. I, Xiao Yang, are willing to issue a military order. If I fail, I will die here. Xiao Yang's voice resounded in everyone's hearts like a thunder. Okay. WN Yarawang hit it off and laughed wildly. Xiao Yang is a handsome monster. Many of the monster troops who were dispatched to follow Xiao Yang from the rear looked at Xiao Yang's figure and couldn't help roaring. With this commander-in-chief, why worry? Then the king wished Xiao Yang Yaoshuai a victory. Let's go. With an order, the WN Yarawang waved his hand, and a space crack in the size of 10,000 zhong swept out. In that space crack, the scarlet demonic energy rising into the sky, as well as a trace of extremely thin but extremely evil power. At this moment, the army of 50,000 demon beasts in the 10,000 demon nation split into two separate paths and left to face the ancient battlefield. And at this moment, the real battle in the demon world has also started completely. In the battle between the strongest under the 3 demon emperors and the 7 demon kings, who is the final winner? In the desolate alien space, in the ancient battlefield, the desolate and icy aura of death, accompanied by bursts of extremely sticky demonic energy and an extremely evil demonic energy, filled this place, which is called this place. It's not an exaggeration to be a true grave death zone. The ancient battlefield, this is a very special realm. It is a special zone opened up by the master of the demon realm and the demon emperor Tianhen with the power of reincarnation. Yes, even the 2 white kings and 1 black king among the king-level powerhouses sent by the evil army from outside the territory to conquer the demon world were completely suppressed by the demon emperor. Therefore, in the ancient battlefield, it is not only a place where many powerful people from the demon world meet today, but also a special area with 2 towns and demon areas. Demon suppression territory, this is something that exists to seal and suppress the real powerhouses among the evil races outside the territory. There are actually 2 of them in this battlefield. The appalling horror level is probably no less than the real Wanxia place. Among them, among the 2 demon suppression prisons, 1 demon suppression prison is sealed with 2 white-level alien kings and many evil people. There is also one, it is said that there is only a black king who seals the evil clan outside the territory. As for the division of the power of the king-level powerhouses among the foreign evil races, no monster can clearly know, but the 2 white kings, according to the guesses of many powerhouses, may not have stepped into the reincarnation, but the black king, but it must be a reincarnation-level powerhouse, because at the beginning, The Demon Emperor alone suppressed him here with his mysterious cultivation technique and demon world domineering weapon. Tear it up. Xiao Yan and the others slowly separated from the WN Yarawang and others. Immediately, Xiao Yang took 1,000 elites behind him, as well as the half-step 8-star fighting fairy and 9 7-star fighting fairy generals. The strength of the lower powers is spread around the ranks of 1-star to 6-star fighting immortals, and together they entered the Qianyuan battlefield among the 10 battlefields. The Qianyuan battlefield is considered to be the last of the top 10 battlefields, but it is also a special area where countless treasures and dangers coexist. Now, in the top 10 battlefields, it is estimated that among the top-ranked battlefields, where are the 3 powerful monster armies standing, trying to compete against each other, and in their eyes, the 7 monster kings are just petty fights. The 3 will decide the outcome, and the 7 demon kings can only bow their heads and become ministers, while the other 9 battlefields have been divided up by the 7 demon kings at this time. The relic treasure left behind enriches itself, trying to gain the power to fight against the 3 powerhouses. In the Qianyuan battlefield, I don't know who deliberately leaked it, and it was vaguely revealed that the Haisha dragon and wolf guards were defeated by the Qianxiong tyrant, fled from here, and tried to leave the ancient battlefield to restore their health. Once the news spread, it was targeted by the evil-eyed demon king. At this time, the battlefield was filled with the army of the evil-eyed demon king. At this time, in the Qianyuan battlefield, the evil-eyed demon king has completely occupied. As for the army of the other Qianxiong tyrants and the white-bone demon king, they are slowly dormant in the first place among the 10 battlefields. It turned out to be united to try to annihilate the remaining Haisha dragon and wolf army in one fell swoop, and the demon kings under the command of the Haisha dragon and wolves, including the 10,000 demon king, also gathered their strengths and went towards the battlefield of the resentful house. There, it will be the real highlight. At the same time, with the help of WN Yaowang's extremely terrifying handwriting, Xiao Yang and the others slowly entered the Qianyuan battlefield. This is the only way out for their army, so Xiao Yang was dispatched to try to drive away the evil-eyed demon king, so as to stay the last way back. Here, the terrifying aura is indeed the real battlefield of the demon world powerhouses and the evil races from outside the ancient times. Just after entering here through the space crack, Xiao Yang's soul power sensed it. Everyone stood in the sky. Xiao Yang followed his gaze and looked down. The dark cracks of countless evil powers emerged from below, and there were many bones and countless corpses everywhere. It seems that in this Qianyuan battlefield, whether it is a stone or a grain of sand, it has absorbed the blood essence of countless monsters and the evil aura of foreign evil races. To a certain extent, it is a great supplement for monsters. It's easy to expose the target by standing in the sky. Go down first and send someone to inquire about the army of the evil-eyed demon king. At the same time, without my order, no one can use anything in this battlefield. Including the corpses on the ground or the blood of fallen monsters. Remember, it's anything. After a while, he glanced around and found some dark shadows walking back and forth not far away. Xiao Yang's order was issued slowly, flooding in the hearts of the people. Yes. The 9 demon generals behind him nodded slowly. They were quite convinced of Xiao Yang's order, so they carried out the order for a while. Wang buzzing. Just standing on the gloomy ground, strange auras filled the air, as if they were venting something. Immediately, 2 objects in Xiao Yang's body flashed with a rather bewitching luster. One is the fragment of the demon book that Xiao Yang obtained before, which recorded many treasures in the demon world. It seems that the body of the demon book stands here. The second is Xiao Yang's palm, the aura of the dark underworld. It seems that the dark underworld master also felt a rather fearful aura about this land, but the dark underworld master was more like a summoned creature. If Xiao Yang did not take the initiative to summon him, he would live quietly in the dark, which is the so-called in the underworld. Don't worry, I won't rely too much on your strength. I will walk the road here step by step. Xiao Yang said with a slight smile. Today's Xiao Yang has many means on his body, and with the addition of the Dark Warrior, I am afraid that the ultimate combat power will be reduced. It is the middle stage of 8-star fighting immortals. The army rests here, remember to hide your breath. Xian Yuan, the army is temporarily handed over to you. Tianhu Yaoshuai, let's go. Let's go and see the situation here. After the handover, Xiao Yang chose to set up camp in a rather low-lying basin, and then nodded slightly. Okay. Xian Yuan and Tianhu agreed at the same time, and immediately retreated. Xian Yuan, the strongest among the 9 great demon generals, who has the perfect strength of the 7-star fighting immortals, is not too bad, and can provoke a major role. Brother Xiao Yang, I think your move is a bit Just after leaving the army, the two walked on a quiet path, surrounded by countless demonic and evil auras, which was quite dark. Tianhu looked at Xiao Yang suspiciously and said, "There is a good number of troops in front. I don't know if it is the elite of the evil-eyed Demon King. However, I remember that the overall strength of the evil-eyed Demon King is several times stronger than that of the Myriad Demon Kingdom, so." Xiao Yang smiled, but there was a confidence in his smile that did not match his strength, as if he had what to rely on in general. "With our strength alone, none of the 7 demons can't be defeated, because among the 7 demon kings, the number of demon beast armies starts with at least 100,000, and the demon king's strength also ranges from the late 8-star fighting immortals to consummation. It's not like our 1,000 elites." Tianhu thought for a while, his snow-white tail swayed behind him, obviously shocked by Xiao Yang's understatement. Let's go meet this army." After that, Xiao Yang didn't care what the Heavenly Fox Demon Commander was. He moved his body and led him towards the distance. This guy. Being like this by Xiao Yang, Tianhu Yaoshuai also felt a shock and madness in his heart. Is this Xiao Yang an arrogant and ignorant person or a thoughtful person? However, Tianhu Yaoshuai was quite satisfied with Xiao Yang's resolute actions. In the Tianyuan battlefield, countless white bones and demonic winds filled the air, embellishing this barren land into a real purgatory on earth. Oh, it's so unlucky. The evil-eye Demon King is really partial, and he gave the most precious resources in the Tianyuan battlefield to his personal guards, the evil-eye demon group, and we, the generals and monster soldiers who worked hard with him and worked hard, ended up with a cup. I can't even share the soup. It's so embarrassing. At this time, in a flat area, several monster generals with tiger heads and tiger brains gathered in a group, quite complaining. Their expressions were extremely fierce, and the words revealed that they were endlessly interested in the so-called evil-eyed Demon King. Of hatred. Lian Shuai, since the evil-eyed Demon King is so ruthless, why don't we? While speaking, a monster beast covered with green scales beside him made a light gesture towards his neck. The implication is clear. Obliterate the evil-eyed Demon King to replace him. No, the strength of the evil-eyed Demon King is in the middle stage of the 8-star fighting immortals, which is far from what we can deal with, and the evil eye of the evil-eyed Demon King can be said to be the most difficult among the 7 demon kings. Shuai heard the words, shook his head slowly, and immediately raised his deep demon eyes, looking deeper into the battlefield. Each of the 10 battlefields contains a lot of precious relics, and now that the evil-eyed Demon King has occupied the Tianyuan battlefield, he has vaguely discovered some tyrannical relics, so he expelled the 3 major demon commanders under him. Using the excuse of patrolling the border, they separated them, and the evil-eyed Demon King with his own personal guards was slowly exploring the precious ruins. The team in front of them now is the Scale Monster Group that ranks second among the 3 big monster groups. The most powerful one is led by the Scale Handsome in the early stage of the 8-star fighting immortals. There are 20,000 monster beasts behind them, and the army only has monster beasts. They are basically scale monsters, and it may be quite inferior to fight alone, but if it is a real group battle, the scene can be described as truly dumb. Wanhan prisoner pillar, Lin Shuai just appeared, and a milky white demonic energy condensed out of his body, and immediately spread out in this extremely cold field, without giving Xiao Yang any counterattack at all. It is such a terrifying offensive, I am afraid it is intended to be a quick decision. Boom. With a sound, countless white mists emerged in the field, and they were suffocating cold, and instantly turned into countless cold icicles, filling the entire field, and above these icicles, the tyrannical seal contained in it to suppress the aura also shocked Xiao Yang. Fire. Seeing such a terrifying scene when Lin Shuai made a move, Xiao Yang didn't dare to be careless. With a roar, the great heavenly seed of crimson flame emerged from his body. With the blessing of the fighting spirit, Xiao Yang was temporarily spared the erosion of these icy forces. Early stage of 7-star fighting immortals? What's going on? The moment Xiao Yang just made his move, Lin Shuai also smelled Xiao Yang's exact strength, and immediately asked with doubts in his demon eyes. Hey, I don't have time to play with you. The sea of crimson flames. Immortal fire feather. Xiao Yang laughed softly, countless fiery red great heavenly seed flames and grey feathers, the two intertwined and slanted away from Xiao Yang. Like a pure river that has fallen into the world from the 9 heavens, the monstrous weather contained in it makes Lin Shuai unable to help but feel a chill in his heart. Suppress this, commander. Looking at Xiao Yang's terrifying attack, it was clearly not equal to his strength, but Lin Shuai forcibly held back and said, I won't play with you anymore. These things, I will accept them with a smile. At the end of the sentence, Xiao Yang's figure suddenly broke through the ice field very strangely, so he gently stood on the intelligence camp and smiled. This guy. At this moment, Lin Shuai's demon eyes couldn't help but become heavy. This guy, who seemed to be only in the early stage of the 7-star fighting immortals, was probably the most terrifying of the two. Want to run? The power of the cold pillar. Watching Xiao Yang prepare to escape, Lin Shuai released the power of milky white ice in his hands, trying to keep Xiao Yang here forever. Crack. It was just that when the milky asterisk just touched Xiao Yang's side, an amber flame appeared and enveloped Xiao Yang, completely shattering it and disintegrating it. This flame. Looking at Xiao Yang's means, Lin Shuai had no intention of continuing to shoot, but just stood there blankly, as if thinking about something. It's really troublesome. Xiao Yang dealt with Lin Shuai's attack, and just planned to escape. Looking at the Tianhu demon Shuai surrounded by tens of thousands of scale demons in the distant sky, he muttered, his body turned into a flaming meteor, and he burst into it. Go. This guy, that's all. Maybe this can cause some obstacles to the evil-eyed demon king. Looking at Xiao Yang's leaving figure, Lian Shuai also laughed. Otherwise, with his strength, if he really wanted to keep Xiao Yang, it was not impossible. But at that time, I am afraid it is a real life and death battle. The nameless, hurry up and capture, otherwise, I will let you die here forever. In the sky, the 5 demon generals shone with extremely dazzling demonic energy, and immediately their auras and tens of thousands of scaled demons were slowly intertwined, forming a terrifying effect on each other. Strength. Let Tianhu Yaoshuai retreat. As expected of a well-trained monster beast legion, I don't know how Master Xiao Yang is doing. Tianhu monster commander wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth, and immediately his breath was shaking, and the terrifying attack was directly in front of him. The enemy attacked away. Boom. These scale monsters united to form a square lineup of integrated attack and defense, which made the Tianhu monster helpless. It felt like their own attacks would be easily resolved by them, and their attacks, he had no choice but to bite the bullet, but as time went on, the scars on Tianhu Yaoshuai became more and more obvious. On the other hand, the power of these scale monsters became more and more terrifying. Are you alright? After resting, Xiao Yang's body appeared beside Tianhu Yaoshuai. Looking at Tianhu Yaoshuai with a weak breath, he asked with concern. Lord Xiao Yang, hurry up, the combined power of these guys is too weird. Seeing Xiao Yang appearing, the demon commander Tianhu hurriedly shouted. He was just a rough man, and it was fine for him to obey orders to fight, but if it was about ordering, that would be his weakness, and now that he had Xiao Yang, who was smart and brave, he was willing to obey. The information has been obtained, let's go together. Xiao Yang did not hesitate and smiled slowly. But Tianhu Yaoshuai wanted to say something, but he looked at Xiao Yang's body, the traces of hot flames, from dim to dazzling, from dull to divine. That feeling is like a dazzling star falling into the mortal world. At this moment, the boundless vast power is renewing its true luster. Bloom. With a cold snort, a pale yellow delicate lotus seed slowly appeared in Xiao Yang's hands, and immediately attacked the copper wall and iron wall formed by tens of thousands of scale monsters. In order not to expose all his means, Xiao Yang did not use the 4-color Buddha's Wrath Samsara, but used the immortal flame as a guide, and the condensed fire lotus, with the power of the immortal flame and Xiao Yang's soul power, is also enough to defeat the scale demon's combined power. Boom. With a sound, the power of immortality erupted, and the lotus seeds erupted completely, and the waves of incomparably hot waves spread like a beam of destruction, and the shocking and terrifying energy contained in them made all the demon generals look on their faces. Big change. Not good. Go back. Seeing Xiao Yang's sudden appearance with such a bizarre attack, several demon generals shrank their pupils and lost their voices. Boom. Unfortunately, it took time to convey the order. When it arrived, the huge square formed by the tens of thousands of scale monsters in front of him was directly hit by Xiao Yang's one-colored fire lotus and soul power. 20,000 scale monsters, more than 1/5 of the casualties. Wanhan territory. Search for me. Be sure to find these 2 beast. Thousands of knives are slashed. In an instant, Lin Shuai shot in time, and the extremely dazzling cold power permeated, and just then he slowly resisted the spread of Xiao Yang's fire lotus, otherwise the losses would continue to increase. With the appearance of this scene, the entire Tianyuan battlefield shook violently. It seemed that several other places were also aware of such strong energy ripples. However, Xiao Yang and the two brought information and thanked their troops for joining together. Having the first experience of fighting against the army of the Demon King of Evil Eyes will be of great benefit to Xiao Yang and the others in their future battles. In the Tianyuan battlefield, Xiao Yang's elite base camp of thousands of monsters. The army led by this monster is too many, right? At this time, Xiao Yang and Tianhu, with the help of Xiao Yang's huge soul power, stood on top of a depleted tree. Looking deeply at the huge camp with hundreds of tents in the distance, he lost his voice. Looking at this battle, I'm afraid there are as many as tens of thousands. How about it? Do you have the confidence to make a breakthrough? Xiao Yang muttered slightly, and then smiled slowly. His voice was full of extreme pride, and he had a strong sense of his own strength. Absolute confidence in general. Humph. Why don't you dare? Master, do you have any plans? Just say it. Tianhu snorted coldly when he saw Xiao Yang's appearance, and his dazzling fighting intent was undoubtedly on display. When the two armies are fighting, intelligence is the most important. The two of us will go deep into the enemy's camp for a while. You are responsible for attracting firepower. I will try to collect the information on the evil-eyed Demon King. Remember not to fight. However, it can cause huge fluctuations, which is very good. Xiao Yang said. Okay. Tianhu said with a slight smile. His gaze towards Xiao Yang also involuntarily became respectful. This guy is not only strong but also convincing. Do it. The two of them looked at each other, and then the power on their bodies soared like spring water. You attack from the front, I'll attack from the back. This feign attack is just to gain information. Leaving those words lightly, Xiao Yang's figure left here first, turning into a fierce wind, lurking towards the enemy's tent. Hoo. The figures of Xiao Yang and Tianhu were extremely strong, and just as the two auras appeared, a harsh roar filled the air from the enemy's camp. Enemy attack. There are enemies. The whole army is on the defensive. Enter the battle mode. Xiao Yang and Tianhu attacked one after the other, and the scaly demon Handsome suddenly jumped into the air and commanded the battle condescendingly. Return to Lin Shuai, there are only two attackers. One person started killing people on the front line, and there was a faint breath behind, which seemed to be heading towards the intelligence camp in our army. After a few breaths, a scout also came here, and the tone was quite strange. 2. But this guy doesn't seem to be so simple. For demon generals, you go and stop that 8-star fighting immortal powerhouse. I will meet that kid. Lin Shuai looked at the two people in tandem, and made a judgment in a short time. The strength of Tianhu Yaoshuai half-step 8-star fighting immortal is certainly tyrannical, but the oppression given to him by Xiao Yang is even more tyrannical than the real 8-star fighting immortal. Lin Shuai, the attack from the front is a half-step 8-star fighting immortal powerhouse. If you don't take action, I am afraid that the front will cause a unilateral massacre. After hearing the words, several demon generals felt dark in their hearts, and did not understand why Lin Shuai would make this decision. Executing an order. You just need to be defensive. As soon as the voice fell, Lin Shuai burst out, facing the base camp behind him. Does the Demon King's army of demon beasts be able to handle this? There is no one who can fight. Let you guys come out, otherwise today, this commander will completely bloodbath this place. Tianhu Demon Commander killed hundreds of monsters one after another in just a few minutes, and suddenly arrogantly snorted. Road. Back to defense, line up. Here. The army is called back, defend. At this time, one after another demon generals emerged one after another, and then they commanded the army of demon beasts like a mess of sand in an orderly manner. For a time, it was difficult to control with the power of Tianhu Demon Commander create a crushing situation. Xiao Yang, I don't know what tricks you have, but you have to hurry up. After Tianhu Yaoshuai muttered, he suddenly fought with these guys, but with the tacit understanding between each other, Tianhu Yaoshuai's strength will become stronger and stronger. Less and less dominant. On the other side, at the rear of the army, Xiao Yang quietly poured into the camp. This is the storage place for some confidential scrolls, and it is also Xiao Yang's destination. Under the power of the soul, it is naturally self-defeating. What is this? At this time, Xiao Yang released his soul power, defending the army of monsters and the powerhouses in the army, and quickly flipped through hundreds of scrolls with his palms, trying to find something useful. The tomb of the Demon Emperor? Xiao Yang pulled out the scroll at the bottom of the pressed scroll, and an invisible oppression permeated out, and 4 demonic words flooded out. You're not too timid, you actually dare to break into our army base camp. Sign up and come. Just when Xiao Yang was surprised, just when he tried to open the scroll, an icy cold air was like smoke, surrounding the entire camp. That is the fluctuation of the field, and it is full of endless killing intent. Has it been discovered? But the purpose has been achieved. Xiao Yang took the scroll into his arms, and his eyes became deep. The majestic fighting spirit permeates out. This guy must be 8-star fighting immortals, can be said to be a real rival. However, For the leader of this level of monster army, the strength has reached the early stage of the 8-star dose Yan, and for Xiao Yang, it is also a great experience. Boy. Suffer to death. A cold snort, followed by a bone-chilling chill, swept the entire intelligence camp, and boundless bleak killing intent swept out, and immediately a human-shaped monster wrapped in green scales disappeared into Xiao Yang's sight. I'm afraid this guy's defensive power and combat power are terrifyingly strong. Looking at the black shadow of the monster that suddenly appeared in front of him, his fierce monster eyes were full of endless anger, and the green scales on his body were like sharp barb, releasing an extremely tyrannical demon. The smell of gunpowder in the battlefield is getting stronger and stronger, and the two lords have not returned. This is not the way to go. In the tent, Shen Yuan sat in the first place and spoke slightly. Xiao Yang put 1,000. The elites of the monster beast army were handed over to him. Although there is no abnormality under his own constraints, but in the Tianyuan battlefield, there are many corpses of monsters everywhere, some of which contain some kind of tyrannical blood essence. At this time, this 1,000 elites are also now just around the corner. The blood of demon beasts is something that is of great benefit to demon beasts in general, like demon pills. Whether it is an increase in their own bloodline or strength, it is comparable to magic pills. If they can get it by chance, the team itself has a lot of blood. Unique advantages, so this is also the reason why these elites are just around the corner. At this time, in the tent, 9 wolves will stand here one after another, and they are all condensed. Some of them even complained about Xiao Yang, but it was because of the order of the Demon King before leaving. This time everything is right or wrong. Xiao Yang headed by Yang Yaoshuai, it is not easy to attack. Boom. At this moment, above the turbid sky in the distance, an unusually harsh explosion sounded out, and the scorching aura contained in it was somewhat similar to the aura of the demon handsome Xiao Yang in the past. What's going on? Shen Yuan heard the words, hurriedly left the tent and came to the open space, staring at the terrifying flame storm, and muttered. That breath, it seems to be a bit like Xiao Yang, Yaoshuai-sama. But there, according to the information of the scouts, it is the location of the Scale Demon Army among the 3 major legions of the Evil Eye Demon King. For a while, the demon generals also had different opinions. On the other side, Xiao Yang and the 2 escaped the siege of the Scale Demon Army, and they wandered around for a long time before they quietly returned to their base camp. Give me. This is what Laro Tsu discovered first. What kind of thing are you? The monsters seemed to be digging the ground in a rather obscure way, and below, a forest of white bones emerged from the barren land, and even a drop of rather weak blood on the white bones, strong and powerful beating, as if with some special magic. What's going on? Xiao Yang asked after Xiao Yang and Tianhu Yaoshuai quietly stood a few monster soldiers fighting for blood essence. This is the blood of monster beasts. It should be left behind after the battle between the army of the monster world and the powerhouses of the extraterrestrial evil race. The blood of monster beasts can greatly improve the power and blood of monsters, as well as many aspects of physical strength, so they are used by them. It's reasonable to fight like this. Tianhu Yaoshuai shook his head helplessly. Obviously what Xiao Yang said before leaving was extremely sensible. Stop for me. Xiao Yang slowly shook his head after listening to Tianhu Yaoshuai's explanation, then walked up to the few monster soldiers in front of him and snorted coldly. What Xiao Yang feared the most happened. Xiao. Master Yaoshuai. Several monsters were already covered with scars, but when they saw Xiao Yang appearing, they could only stand upright, and the white bones in the soil below could only give up. How did I tell the military order before I left? Xiao Yang's eyes were gloomy, and he looked at the monster soldiers coldly. A trace of anger permeated. You must not use any bone or object on the battlefield without authorization. Several monsters were dumbfounded and lowered their heads. Knowingly committed. What do you think you should be guilty of? Xiao Yang continued. According to the military order, behead. But since you don't know it, I will forgive you this time. As for the so-called monster blood essence, it's just a mass of evil energy. If you swallow it without authorization, I'm afraid it will swallow you into bones in no time. As Xiao Yang spoke, the dazzling fiery red energy swept out from his body, gently wrapped around the drop of crystal silver antimony-penetrating blood essence above the white bones below. Boom. Wrapped in Xiao Yang's pure flame, the blood above the bones burst out with a monstrous evil aura. That kind of power is far beyond what these monster soldiers can resist. In the end, there was a sudden explosion, which turned into a monstrous rain of blood, filling the air. Master Yaoshuai Shengming, seeing Xiao Yang destroying this demonic beast's blood and essence in just a few words, the few demonic beast soldiers also said in despair. If Xiao Yang hadn't stopped it in time, I'm afraid they By the way, sir, now it's not just us, there are many in the team. After Shurenshi, several monsters also decided to change their past and repented. Go ahead and gather the army, I have something important to announce. Xiao Yang nodded lightly when he heard the words, and said immediately, okay. When the other monsters heard the words, they dispersed to notify the monsters to gather. Sir, what are you? Tianhu Yaoshuai was also confused for a while and asked. When I went to the Scale Demon Army to spy on information, I found some useful information. I'll communicate it myself in a while. Aren't these monster beast elites trying to get monster blood to enhance their power? I happen to have this intention too, but I just don't know if they have the courage. After speaking, they also left facing the 9 demon generals in the tent. What happened? Gather! Xiao Yang's demon handsome is back. At this moment, the monster army, which was about to move, became restless because of Xiao Yang's return. A few minutes later, 1,000 elite monsters were assembled. Everyone! Xiao Yang and Tianhu stood in front of the 1,000 monsters and said plausibly, their voices filled with a sense of relief. Everyone, we entered the Qianyuan Mountains to resist the evil-eyed Demon King. I know that there are a lot of monsters in this battlefield that are very attractive to us, but the monsters and blood on these lands have already been corroded by the evil forces of foreign evil tribes. Xiao Yang said a word. Said. Corrosion? How can it be? Actually it was corrupted by the evil race from outside the territory. I just said how it can't be refined after absorbing it. Xiao Yang's voice just fell, and the team suddenly exploded. Defeat the evil-eyed Demon King is the best way for us to prove ourselves, but now with our strength, we still don't have the strength to compete head-on. So there is an imminent need to increase the power. This time I went out to investigate information. I was lucky enough to get a relic in the battlefield. There are many treasure relics in it, but this relic is now eroded by the Evil Eye Demon group of the Evil Eye Demon King's guards. I don't know if you have that. You have the courage to fight with me. Xiao Yang's voice contained a hint of inquiry, and slowly emerged. Battlefield ruins? Thousands of elites couldn't help but their eyes brightened when they heard it. If the blood of the monsters on the battlefield is corroded by evil forces and cannot be absorbed, then the battlefield ruins are the place where many treasures are completely preserved. That kind of place is a real treasure for monster. I don't know what the ruins are. Where are you? After a while, many inquiries came from among the elite monsters. The tomb of the Demon Emperor. As for the location, it's in the depths of this battlefield. Xiao Yang said softly, but there was a calm air in his voice, as if the winning ticket was in hand. This video will end here.